like I said, there was some weird bits where I couldn't tell what emotion was kind of overriding him. I couldn't really tell. There was some parts where he was basically like, I thought, like tearing up. There were some parts where he seemed very angry. I don't really know what was really going on, but you know, he certainly seemed to be a little bit all over the place. So Evie accused Automatic and Stewie of not listening to them, to Malek and him, right from the start, not wanting their input because they said, "We won a major, we know what to do." And obviously, I wasn't there. I wasn't a fly on the wall. But let me tell you, this is certainly uh, the type of thing I have heard from players in the past. There is this idea that among a lot of top CS pros, that success is sort of some, you know, perpetual motion machine. That once you've got it, you've cracked the code. You'll never need to know anything ever again. You'll never need to improve. You'll never need to change, even in a changing meta, even in a changing landscape, and it will just last forever. And then when it stops, it can't be you, because remember, you cracked the code. You won the big tournaments. It must be your teammates that are falling off, or maybe the organization. Hell, maybe they're not paying you enough. And so I've definitely heard a lot of players down the years.
I do agree with what he's saying in terms of certain players that crack a code and once they make the success. But I disagree that in this situation that it is Stewie or Automatic. I think Automatic would make a joke about it, but I don't think he'd be serious because I know him from Counter-Strike Source. I've known him for a long time. Not personally, it's not like we're best of friends. But I do know that he might make a joke like that. If you don't know his sense of humor or his sarcasm or how he speaks, then yeah, you might take it personally. But I know how he is, and he might say it like that. Stewie may. Stewie doesn't have this type of ego, man. Like, he's not like this. He's not.
And I just also want to add before I get.
Dang, Richard basically saying they have no heart. That's not what he just said. See, like, again, when I start doing these reactions and I start talking about this shit, I get so mad when I just read one comment, bro. And I don't know if it's like bait. I swear. Because if it's bait, fuck me. You get my ass so good. You get me. I wish I I could just white out shit, you know? Like he got my ass. But motherfucker, if you're serious, god damn, you're stupid. In one ear, out the other. Transfer it with what my dumbass brain says and my stupid ass little tiny ass low IQ head says, and then I spew out bullshit. That's really what I think of you fucking morons in Twitch chat sometimes that make comments like that. Holy shit.
Reply. Can we stop sort of idolizing that like collective of American players for winning that major? Yes, I thought the Boston event was incredible. Yes, the miracle in Boston is one of the great storylines. Yes, they were underdogs. They nearly were out of the tournament without winning a game, and they battled back and won the whole thing. It's a fantastic esports story. But here's the reality. They were not so great coming into that major, and once they'd won that major, they weren't so great coming out. They weren't exactly the all-conquering world heroes. In fact, it didn't take long after Skadoodle got his MVP performance that he was fucking benched and flirting in and out of the team because Stewie didn't want to play with him anymore. So you didn't crack the code, my American brothers. You didn't crack the code. You fluked the biggest tournament in the world and then saying like, holy shit, if we do everything right, we can actually win. You then said, no, we are doing everything right.
Fuck do I look at? Fuck do I look at that? What's it fucking called again? You fucking Boston? Where the fuck is it? Can't fucking find this shit. E-League Major. All right. All right. So they won the E-League Major. WSG. That doesn't fucking matter. They got second here. They got fourth. Then after that, what the fuck ever. Fifth, sixth. So ECS, they're getting there. What the fuck is this thing? Cyber Extreme. I am Oakland. Who's here? That's a big tournament. FaZe, which is, so who do they lose to here? So Cloud9 lost to FaZe. To me, this is almost like setting the fucking platform for Cloud9 to come into the major to win, right? Like this is the major, this is them competing against the major. November 18, 2017, right? You're laying a foundation right here. You almost know how to play against these guys, and then you go to the ECS. What the fuck is this? That doesn't matter. That's NA. ECS, and then let's see who they lose to here. So FaZe wins. Cloud9 loses to FaZe again. Cloud9 loses to Astralis, who is obviously fucking good, right? Astralis was really good during 2017, we can all agree. So they lose to Astralis. They also lose to FaZe. During this time, I guarantee FaZe Astralis are number 1 and 2. I imagine. I'll go back and look at it in a sec, but I just want to prove my point. Then coming into 2018, these fuckers play the Challengers, and they play the E-League Major, and people could say they fluke it, right? So all I'll say is they go 0-2, and they come back and win 3-2. They beat G2. Pretty fucking good team, right? Obviously beat SK, who was pretty fucking good. FaZe obviously takes down... Fuck is on mouse here? Sunny, Rops, whatever. They beat Navi, which is a pretty good fucking win, which makes them make that change. And then they beat FaZe. And it's not like they lost 16-14. They won 16-10 and then won 22-19. So when you really think about that, like that win, that's not a fluke, man. You really have to think about. No, I like Richard. Like I think Richard is actually a really good journalist. I think it's people can just call it fluke 9 and fluke all this. Look, FaZe is ranked number 2, like I said. I think people can call it fluke all this shit. But like when you win a 16-14 match, that's not a fluke. Unless you win both pistols, it's like, then it's like, oh shit, you probably should have lost the match because that means you lost more gun rounds than the team if it's 16-14, right? When you win 16-10, that's pretty fucking solidified you dominate a team. When you win in overtime, especially on a map like Inferno, that means you fucking won, bro. They won. They beat this team. It's not a fluke, man. And they beat SK, previous major winners, whether they're washed or not. They beat G2, who was also pretty fucking good during that time. And then, like, during their group stage run, like during groups, they lose to G2. And then they end up beating them in playoffs, right? Then Cloud9 loses to Space Soldiers. They're 0-2. Then they go, oh shit. All right. Well, guess what? We got to beat fucking Virtus Plow. Virtus Plow. Beat them. Then they got to beat Astralis. 16-6. They fucking destroyed them. Then they go up against Vega Squadron. Absolutely mollywop all these teams after they go 0-2. After they go 0-2, 16-7, 16-6, 16-4. Fucking mollywop. 2-0 G2 after they lose to them. 2-1 SK and 2-1. I ain't no fluke, brother. That's just called a little bit of heart and soul, as PTR says it. Telling you, man. That's like the least way to fluke. Like, you fucking grinded all the way back from 0-2 to win a major. Is that not more American than American? Is that not more American? You beat Virtus Plow, Astralis, Vega Squadron, probably the most unknown. Then you beat G2. You beat the ex-major winners SK, and then you dominate, or not dominate. You barely beat FaZe. That's a fucking run, dude. Are you shitting me? Is that not a miracle story, like from the hockey story? You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. The only thing my point was when I was trying to listen to what he was saying, calling it a fluke, I just had to research them who they lost to coming into the tournament, which they lost to Astralis and FaZe, who were ranked 1 and 2 at the time. And they ended up beating those teams. So the teams they lost to lose the 2 tournaments, they came in 5th, 6th at ECS. They lost to FaZe. And when they lost in, was it fucking Pro League that I was looking at? Or what the fuck ever was the other one? They lost to FaZe was the other one. They lost to FaZe and Astralis and then FaZe as well. FaZe in the other one. So it's like, they weren't losing to bums. They were losing the top 3 teams in the world. So, it's not magic from Astralis. It doesn't matter. KRB won a major with him, so it's not like KRB was some fucking scrub. They actually said that he was incredibly good.
I'm sure we'll win again. 2 very different mindsets. I never really got into the jerk around it, because I think winning 1 major, okay, it's great. It's a fantastic landmark. Talk to me when you've won 2. Talk to me when you've got a Grand Slam. You know? I even go so far as to say, I might think...
Stewie also won a Grand Slam. Just tossing that out there. And how many teams have won more than 1 major? Is it Astralis and Fnatic? And then MIP? Like, how many teams have won multiple majors? Better yet, how many players have won multiple majors? 10? 11? 10? SK as well? SK, sorry. So you got SK, Astralis, and... Oh, fuck, I just said it. How did my brain just lose that? Fnatic. So you have 15 players that won multiple. 15 players. But he also just said, include a Grand Slam. Stewie won a Grand Slam. Let me remind you of that. French players didn't win 2. Did they? No, because it was a different roster. It was one of them was LDLC won a major, and then one of them was not G2. I think it was Envy won a major. Different French players. MBK won 2. Did he? Crazy. That guy is actually no respect on his name. Yeah, 2 times. There you go. Is he the most successful French player? I guess since they've only won 2. Because I know Kenny won a major. One-time major winner. Nuts to think. Everyone puts so much hype on his name. And he's been, the highest he's ever rated was top 6. And everyone thinks he's like the best opper. By the way, let me mind you, number 7 in 2017, right? Number 13 in 2016. Sorry, this is just another thing going in my brain. Won 2 majors. In 2016, that guy was ranked number 2 while calling. We ever seen that before? And number 6 in 2017. We ever seen a person like that? An opper that calls and can op and dominate? 18 players have won at least 2 majors. Yeah, it makes sense. So you got Fnatic, Astralis, and SK. Hiroshima won twice? Damn, he won 2 majors too. That's crazy, and no one puts any respect on him at all. Most of the teams he's been on too are winning teams. Crazy.
On some days, I go back and forth on it, but I probably today, as of the time of talking to you, I think the Grand Slam's a better achievement.
Stewie won it, by the way.
So anyway, we won the major. We know what to do. First of all, none of our mindsets were ever like that. I never thought that a coach is just a yes man and a hype man and is only there to help us. Whatever Tim's thinking is, I don't know if it evolved, but whatever he says about the coach, like, I don't think there's anything wrong with this statement. Referring to my vision of a coach as a guy who doesn't decide and assists. Maybe a little bit with who doesn't decide. Valve designed this game to be that way in a sense. You only really have 30 seconds to speak, and you can really only say so much. But I do agree with the part where he assists. I think a coach's job is to come in. For example, if I'm going to come into Liquid as a coach, I'm going to see what Liquid has. I'm going to see from my experience what I can do to help them and help them on. See what they've got, what they're good at, paint the full picture in my head of what they are, who they are, areas that they need to work on, and point them and try to help as individuals. Now, that is, again, tonally back and forth, because he's saying, I don't know, I don't think that you should just be a yes man. Then he says, okay, I suppose if you do say that and you do think that that's kind of bad, but this is what I want my coaches to do. I want my coaches to come in and basically say, oh, could you improve this? Could you do that? But, they don't really have much chance to speak, do they, at the tournaments? So Valve obviously agree with me. And it's like, no, right, all of the coaches, talk to any coach in Counter-Strike and they will tell you, the work isn't done at the event. The work is done before the event. Being at the event, yeah, you can only talk for 30 seconds. You can only really offer moral support, little adjustments, things like little observations.
So
all of the work is done before that.
The hardest thing about this interview right now is this is out of context, because what Stewie was talking about during this interview was that a coach doesn't get to talk in the 30 seconds. So somebody was asking about the timeout, right? Like, why didn't you call the timeouts? He's like, what difference is it going to make? Like, he only gets 30 seconds to speak. I have a decent idea of what I want the game plan to be. It's okay for right now. But I have no problem if he came into me and said, hey, timeout. I have something to say. Stewie said that also on a stream. So this article is kind of taking it, I don't know what article this even is, but it's kind of taking it out of context to what Stewie was saying during this time. It's saying certain pieces of what this is actually nuts, because this reminds me of like basketball stories. Like, we talking about practice, like with Allen Iverson. That's like they took that entire term completely out of context. But this was completely taken out of context. So for me, I don't know. I'm just trying to explain to you guys why Richard is talking about it in this context, but I'm saying the actual context of what Stewie is talking about when it comes to the 30-second thing was, we only have 30 seconds when it comes to calling timeouts. What can he say? Which is what he said live on stream. And then he also said, hey, if he had something to say to me, he came up and said timeout, of course I'm going to take the fucking timeout. That was the context of what Stewie was saying.
This is the problem. You never You, Stewie, never let them do that work. From the first boot camp, day 2 of the first boot camp, you stopped talking to the coach. By the way, he doesn't even deny that part. So how can a coach do their job if their job is to do all of the shit to prep you pre-tournament? Now, this is bollocks. He then goes on to talk more about...
Wait, what? He did deny that part. He literally said they had discussions about stuff. He said it was awkward and uncomfortable about being around him and discussing things, but they talked about stuff all the time. And even to go further in Evie's interview, they did talk. They definitely talked. Is A4 better than A1S? No. A1S is better. It's just less bullets. You just have to be more accurate. Less spam through smoke. Shit like that.
How he thinks a coach should be. And he goes, hey, Breezy. This is him doing an impersonation of a coach. Hey, Breezy, your A-site lurk is terrible. I have some suggestions for you. I saw Nico do this. I saw this guy do this. That's how I think a coach should be, and also a person that, as a coach, I feel that you want to be a person that the players want to come to you. They want to go out of their way to come to you for help, and no, you throwing yourself on there all the time, making it known that you're available for help because we know you're available for help, but yeah, anyways, that's what my vision of a coach is. Now, what that tells me, and probably tells you, from me having read it, is Stewie doesn't know what a coach is, or what a coach does, or what coaching methods are, what tools a coach would use, because he thinks coaching is a player is doing something wrong, the coach tells that player to do it differently, preferably in the way a better player does it. Now, I'm hoping what my vision of a coach is. Now, what that tells me, and probably tells you, from me having read it, is Stewie doesn't know what a coach is, or what a coach does, or what coaching methods are, what tools a coach would use, because he thinks coaching is a player is doing something wrong, the coach tells that player to do it differently, preferably in the way a better player does it. Now,
that's not correct. It's not like, you know what the issue is in today's CS scene? You want to know what the issue is with today's CS scene in terms of coaches? Name me the top 5 coaches right now. Name me 5 coaches that are the top 5 coaches that the players praise. Go. Go. Do people praise Malik? Do people praise Zonic from Astralis? Hell yeah. How much love does Blake get? How much love does Blake get? Robin, right? If you're gonna name the top 3 coaches right now in the world, Blade, Zonic, probably a mix between XTQZ and also Robin. That's my guess. But other than that, how much praise do coaches get? From the players? I'm saying directly from players. It's always from teams that are in the top 5. Why? Because their coaches are actually doing things. They're not doing like telling you, hey, this player does this. They're different. They're a different approach to it. I think what most people are missing is there's not many good coaches that you can go off of. There's no like Bill Belichick's. There's no Greg Popovich's from the NBA. There's no fucking Phil Jacksons. There's no Steve Kerr's in the NBA from baseball. There's no what's his name? Joe. God damn it, what's his name? Joe something. I can't remember his fucking name. But there's just no there's just no rememberable coaches other than Zonic. Like Zonic. Uh, then you have Blade coming up in there. Then you have XTQZ. You have Robin. Like, we need Joe Girardi. Thank you. Is Joe Girardi the same guy I'm thinking of, though? I hope it's not that shithole coach. Yeah, it is the bad coach. Not him. I'm talking about Joe. Fuck, when Yankees are winning all the time. Regardless, doesn't matter. He's not the one I'm talking about, but somebody else. Joe something. Or, fucking A. Joe Torre. Thank you. Joe Torre. That's who it was. Sorry. Joe Torre. The thing is, the reason why there's no sample size in terms of going off of coaches, there's no good coaches. There was no good coaches back in the day. The only one that there was coming up in the game was Zonic, right? Like, there were some, like Robin was grinding it. There was a couple that were grinding it. In respect to you were grinding it. I'm saying the ones that made a fucking difference to where the players literally would acknowledge you in articles and say, this coach is amazing. He changed our mental. He helps us. He's our friend. He tells us certain things. To me, like, I don't think Stewie's ever experienced a coach like that before. And I would bet you. So Stewie's played on, I can't even remember what teams he's played on, man. Liquid, which he had a Dren, right? And Moses. I'm sure he liked Moses, liked a Dren. I bet you when he was on MIBR/SK, I bet you he would have said Dev was probably a better mentor or friend or something like that than anybody else in this team. I might be wrong. But I'd be willing to bet my bottom dollar. I also like Zeus. Sorry. Shout out to fucking Zeus. Shout out to Zeus. Zeus, I'm sorry I missed that. And if this gets cut off, just know I'm putting this in the end of this cutoff and people are going to take it out of context. Zeus, I actually fucking love you. I think you're top 5 as well. But yeah, I would bet you during this period, I don't know if Zeus was a part of this team. If Zeus was, then 100%, but I'm pretty sure Dead was just a part of this team. Dead is he was their like manager / coach, and he was like just this amazing, kind-hearted, fucking amazing human being. And I met him many a times, and a lot of times when I hung out at LANs, like I hung out after when it became in 2018, 2019, every time I saw him, probably one of the nicest human beings I've ever met. Took this guy into, doesn't even matter. But like,
Ryan, you pugging? Or are you ranting about Stewie?
Stewie fucking, I guarantee you, Stewie fucking loves the shit out of him. Guarantee it more than any of these other coaches that he's had.
My friend, Freakazoid.
Shut up, man. I'm talking.
What's wrong?
Nothing. All right.
Now,
You want
I'm
drugs?
hoping we can all see the problem there, because Stewie thinks a coach is someone who goes, "Hey, Breezy, could you be Nico this game?" And Breezy goes, "Oh yeah, I've never tried being Nico. I'll give it a go, coach." And then Breezy becomes Nico, and they win the game because they've got Nico and not Breezy.
That's just exaggerated.
That's not, in no conceivable way is that what a coach does. In fact,
that's just exaggerated.
Bedrock of a good coach in any sport, and I can tell you,
because Richard's a good guy. I actually like Richard. He's a good guy.
Richard and his million jobs. Yeah, I've mentioned that one before. I've done sports coaching, sports coaching with women and sports coaching with at junior level. One of the bedrocks of coaching is theory. You give somebody the sound theory, the sound game theory, which that if they apply it, 9 times out of 10, it'll be the right thing to do. But what makes a truly great player, right, is them being able to contextually understand the very obscure 10th time it doesn't apply. And if you're a really good coach, that's when you can start helping them with it. But what you always give them is, this is the baseline, this is what you do, this is the objectively correct thing to be doing in most situations, and this is why. And you explain it to people. So, for example, you wouldn't say your A-site lurk is terrible. Could you do it more like Nico? you would say your A site lurk is terrible because when you lurk on a site, you need to do it like this. This is what, and this is why it works. Could you please try doing it that way? And then I'll give you some feedback on whether I've seen an appreciable improvement or not.
This is what I think what makes great coaches. You don't attack somebody that knows their A site lurk is terrible. You don't think one of the best players in the world, aka Breezy, or any fucking player that's playing in the top 100 to a top 150 players in the world knows that they're struggling on an A site lurk on Mirage. Of course they understand that. What makes a great coach is, hey, you're doing your A site lurk like this at this sort of timing. You do it well at this timing, and you struggle at this timing. So let's work on this timing here to get it to this timing that you have over here. Show them a positive with also what they can work on, rather than just telling them what they're doing as a general whole is a negative. That's all I'm going to say. That's what makes a decent coach. That's probably why I would make a good coach.
And the player goes, yes, you're the coach and you're only here to help me, so I will listen to you and do what you say. And if it works, brilliant. If it doesn't, we'll have a discussion. Also locked up in all of that, by the way.
Every time he drinks, I drink.
Styles. People have different learning styles. Loads of people absorb information in different ways. Some people need to see it. Some people can hear it. Some people need to read it. Some people need you like helicopter parent them essentially and do it for them a few times and really walk them through it step by step so they can piece it together in their head. And these are just the broad strokes. There's obviously loads of little nuance to learning styles and everything else. So, you know, the idea that it's
Dude, I admire he could fucking do a fucking 3-hour, 30-minute podcast talking with himself about an article. I mean, I did like an hour and a half, but fuck me. I admire him. He can do it consistent. He does his research. Like one thing about Richard Lewis, he does fucking research, man. So I respect him. And he was super kind to me too as well at LAN. I'll never forget 2017 LAN at E-League, what he said to me. I think it was 2016, I should say. I'll never forget what he said to me. So it's like, even though I'm doing this thing here, I will never, ever forget like what he said to me. But at the same time, I'm also just not being a journalist, but just responding to what he's saying.
Simple as just play like Nico. No, ridiculous. And I'll add
respect him.
This
100%.
idea as well. I feel like a coach has to be the person players want to come to. Now, it's fantastic, by the way, if you have a positive relationship with your coach to the degree that players want to come to you all of the time and say, listen, man, I was working on this and it didn't quite.
You guys see my mouse keeps doing that shit? Keep sliding and moving. It's like driving my eyeballs crazy. I can't do it anymore.
Right, and it didn't click. Could you help me? Or, you know, I'm having a crisis of confidence. I'm getting a bit nervous in the big games. Can you help me? Or I'm having some problems in my personal life and it's making me distracted right now. Can you help me? Right? It's fantastic. But I'll add, outside of a coach that coming in and telling you do this and you doing it, and then you having a debrief about whether or not it worked and how and in which areas we can improve. They're a coach. They're not a fucking agony aunt. You know? If you want to ask profound questions, dear fucking diary it. You are not guaranteed to have that kind of relationship with a coach in your life. In fact, all of the jocks in the chat will tell you this. You get widely different coaches. Yeah, sometimes you get...
What's that shit called? What did he just say?
They're a coach. They're not a fucking agony on. You know? If you want to ask profound questions, dear fucking diary it. You are not guaranteed to have that kind of relationship with a coach.
What's that word?
In your life.
Agnion? Does anyone know what that word is? Does anyone know what that word is? Agnion? You have someone to talk to? Yeah.
Life. In fact, all of the jocks in the chat will tell you this. You get widely different coaches. Yeah, sometimes you get the coach who's like a surrogate father and you just want to fucking play.
One thing we do have in the privilege in the gaming community, I will say that we have the privilege to fire coaches as players. As fucked up that is, like, gamers, like the 5 CSGO players, if they all disagree on the coach, they have the power, unlike in like basketball, baseball, football, soccer, to fire the coach. Especially if they're even having the results. Like if the coach is genuinely not good, they have the power to do it. But like if, let's say management likes them, then of course not. But at the same time, like they have the power. Like if the coach is fucked and not a good coach, you have the power to get rid of that coach. Just like every player, if they 4 players and the coach don't like a player, they have the power to get rid of that player as well. You guys have to, that's real fucked up. No, man, that's the nature of the business. That's a part of sports in any sport. Probably the only, actually, like, probably the only sport it won't happen. Actually, it will happen in every single sport. But even if, like, you're successful and you're winning and you're all good players, you'll be able to get rid of that coach. But, like, if it's baseball, basketball, whatever the fuck it was, you won't be able to get rid of that coach. But if it's, like, in gaming, you can. So, but I'm saying pretty much all sports, if the players or and the coach and to get out of a player to get a player out or all players to get out of a coach, like you can make that decision 100%. What if it's vice versa? Coaches to get out of a player? Well, you have to get the players to agree because sometimes maybe a coach will not, like most of the time a coach will not get rid of a player, right? Like, why would they choose to get rid of one player? Because they're not good enough. Most of the time, it's out of spite. Most of the time, it's because they don't like them. If you're choosing to get rid of somebody, it's either because they're too expensive, or you don't like them. You bench somebody, that's one thing. But, like, if a coach is genuinely bad and not good and more harm than good, you can get rid of them. The same thing you can if you're a coach and a player is harmful to your team. You can get rid of them. Easy. Well, we all know LeBron makes his fucking choices. Marcus, thank you for the 13 months. If LeBron ever fucking wins another championship, and he's 37 right now, turning what? LeBron James age. Turning 38 December 30th. If he wins the championship again, I will suck my own dick on stream. There is no chance he wins another one. Telling you. He has, like, he's like, I guarantee you, do you realize the first thing that came out? What's the first thing? If any of you guys looked at Instagram or SportsCenter Instagram, if any of you guys looked at SportsCenter Instagram, did you see the first thing that came out? Did any of you guys see the first thing that came out? It's the most, like, petty shit I've ever seen. I saw LeBron working out. It didn't come from his Instagram. It came from people he knew working out in New York with Kevin Love. Bro, like, why is this on your Instagram. You're trying to take away from what Steph is doing. I'm telling you, LeBron is so fucking jealous of Steph because he's just this, like, Steph is like this sweetheart guy. Just, you can't fucking hate him. And I think LeBron's just jealous. He can't dunk like him, but he's like, I don't give a shit. I can dunk like you. I can score threes compared to twos. You know what I'm saying? Like, LeBron's just jealous of him, man. LeBron is probably a player you'd want to have on your team to be a better team, but Steph is like that player on your team that's the scariest player on your team. He's like, okay. He's like, we got to change how we play for this guy. Like, LeBron is like, okay, we got to be worried about him on a fast break. Got to be worried about him in a post. Got to put a bigger guy on him. Got to make sure we get back on D. But it's like Steph in the half court. This motherfucker is literally running a mile, running zigzags, back and forth. Oh, he doesn't get open shot. All right, pass. I'm going to run a zigzag. Open shot. All right, fling it. You know, it's like he's so scary. Why? Because he scores 3 compared to 2. And he has a 42.8% shot. He's, when I Googled it, the 13th highest 3-point percentage shot shooter in the league ever. It's insane. I'm not saying these guys are all not bad boys. I'm just saying they all don't shoot like him. I'm saying that this dude, you can guard someone like, if you guard LeBron versus James Harden, Kevin Durant's a little bit different because he's 6'11". But if you guard LeBron, you guard James, right? You press him a little bit, and with the fouls that are called in today's league versus 2 years ago, you're like, all right, I'll step off LeBron a little bit because we're going to let him shoot the 3 because his percentage isn't as high as, like, let's say a person like Steph. You're never going to let Steph shoot that shot. You'll let LeBron shoot it. Let's see if you can go 5 for 10 for tonight from threes. Let's see if James can do. He'll probably go 5 for 10 3 out of 10 times. KD, you don't let him do that. KD's nice. But Steph, scary. Steph, scary. LeBron made a post for Draymond. Bro, LeBron makes a post for people because he wants to fucking be involved. LeBron is the Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor is the LeBron of the NBA. It's over, dude. Fucking over. And I never say that. And I personally have enjoyed watching LeBron. I think he's an amazing player, one of the best ever, probably top 10, easy. But he's the Conor McGregor of NBA now. Easy. They're done. They're both pretty nice guys. Well, the problem is I don't like when people get political and start talking about that shit. Like, stop talking about politics. I understand it's cool and shit. Like, you want to do it for your fan base and all that stuff, but it's like, dude, just fucking, you know, he's trying to skew an audience that's, like, huge. Curry hit 105 consecutive three-pointers in a row. Really? Draymond and LeBron are close friends. Maybe. I should host a sports show. No, I don't mind if, like, dude, I don't mind if you do it. Like, I don't mind if you do all these things. I don't mind if, like, okay, I kind of said that opinion wrong. I shouldn't have a sports show. Fuck no. I don't mind if you have your political opinion. I think when you're passionate to a point to making other people look bad and you're creating diversity, I think that's when there's an issue. You can have a political opinion, but I think when you're creating diversity to a certain point, that's when there's an issue. Sorry, I kind of said that wrong. LeBron had insane statistical season this last year at age 37. 100%. He was an animal. I mean, I think this year is going to be the year that LeBron he's going to be more like a Connor, where you're going to see him start going down. He's going to be 38, bro. Father time catches us all. And just like it is, the only person it's not really catching yet is Tom Brady. And then I don't know when his time's going to be. Hashtag drunk. Appreciate it, Rockers. Division. Yeah. Whatever. Yes. vision. Yes. It's like hardcore vegans, nothing wrong. But they'll be, may do. Al Horford, his wife makes him feel young. Dude, you should get on some sports podcasts and expand. You know what you're talking about? I kind of know, but not really. You know? I know what I like see. I know like how people are. I think I would have a better understanding of sports. I know what I look at when I look at sports. Like I know what I look at in terms of defense, in terms of like positioning and all that bullshit. I would have a better understanding of players if I spoke to them. Like I understand like when they're talking to like a camera and they have not an agenda, but they have to be a certain type of way to not get in trouble, to make a certain amount of money from sponsors, shit like that. But I would love to have a conversation with people like that. You got to have a persona, 100%. Yeah, I mean, I truly believe that LeBron is unbelievable. I think he's working on his shot, if you notice more, because his I'm not saying his vertical is leaving him. I'm saying that it's probably decreased maybe an inch and a half last season, and then probably this year, it's gonna probably decrease a little bit. Father time catches us all, dude. And I truly believe I love Brady, but I pray to God this is not when Father Time catches him. I hope not. Draymond better work on his shot this summer. I mean, if he's got 4 good ass players, he doesn't need to. He just needs to pass. If you have 4, like, think about Draymond's job, right? Like, you have 4 players that are literally just constantly moving, setting screens, just moving. He doesn't have to do shit. But, like, let's say Draymond worked on his shot with, like, how he is as an offensive runner with, like, assisting and then rebounding as well. God damn. Draymond would be probably one of the scarier players in the league, right? Like, imagine he can make a shot and he went 5 for 10. You know what I mean? Imagine he went 4 for 10 from 3 or 3 for 10. It's like you got to worry about him making shots. You'll give him that shot, but it's like, fuck, if he makes it, it could change a game. So it's like, imagine if Draymond actually did start shooting certain shots, which I think he was aggressive in the finals because he did go 4 for 9, or I think it was 4 or 5 for 9 or 5 for 10. So he was more aggressive in the finals because they were giving him those shots and he was choosing to take them, which is why I think he was changing the game because I think he had 10 points, 9 assists, 8 assists, 9 rebounds in the last game. And he had a great game. Which, if you're letting Draymond take shots and he's making them, you're like, motherfucker, we got to guard Steph, Draymond, Clay, Andrew Wiggins, Jordan Poole. And then Kevin Looney actually cuts really well and gets offensive rebounds as well as Andrew Wiggins. It's like, fuck, man. But, goddamn, I just went off topic of shit. For pro NBA players that play on Golden State, do they live in the Bay? Most players, like, some players do live, like, where they play, but I actually don't know.
All of the jocks in the chat will tell you this. Yeah.
Brady got us next year. Dude, I love Brady. Hey, I'm born in Boston, bro. I didn't care if Boston won an NBA, but I loved the Patriots. I loved them growing up. And then when he went to Tampa Bay, I bet on him to win the Super Bowl, and I won money. So that's how much of a dick rider I am for Brady. The jocks in the chat, yeah.
You get widely different coaches. Yeah, sometimes you get the coach who's like the surrogate father and you just want to fucking please them and do everything for them. And other times, you get the coach who's just such a cunt, you just want to prove them wrong. You're never calling that guy up saying, oh, I'm thinking about asking her to the prom. What would you do, coach? You're not doing that. You hate this cunt on some level. But that guy is also giving you the tools to succeed and giving you the motivation, right? It's real crazy because I'd assumed Stewie had done some sorts of sports in his life. I always assumed he must have done some sports of some sort. And so it's really weird that it doesn't seem to have ever had an effective coach in his life or understand the coach-player dynamic on any level. It just
This is
seems
true.
really strange to me. But, maybe that's an assumption on my part. Maybe he never has had that.
Yeah,
I'll
I
tell
don't think
you,
he has.
all of the
Which is
fucking
what I
players,
said.
by the way, that have had some sort of sporting background, you'll never hear them complaining about coaches. You know what I mean? It's as simple as that. The ones in Counter-Strike have, and in esports in...
Bro, I've played sports my entire life from 4 till 21. I've had some in high school. I had some fucking moronic coaches. My soccer coach my freshman year, horrendous. He didn't even know what the fuck was going on. He was like stoned half the time. My basketball coach in 8th grade, no idea what was happening. Terrible coach. Asshole. My freshman baseball coach, kind of there. Cared more about like us getting the win rather than like the players itself. So he was just kind of a dick. Like I've had coaches that are just, I understand like what they're doing. They're trying to get us to win, but I also understand when it's like for a paycheck. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a difference. There's a difference trying to get your team to win because you want them to succeed or you want to succeed or you want your paycheck. So there's like paychecks, you want to succeed or you want the team to succeed in order to get the paycheck, but you lie to your team about that to succeed. And then there's also caring about your players in order for you to win. There's like 3 different categories of how you are as a coach in your brain. One's money, one's you lie to your team to make them succeed, and then the other is because you genuinely care. So I've had some shithole coaches, 100%, and I could see right through it. And the players can all see through that too. But the worst is like when you have a football coach, when you have 50 players on your team, and the players don't believe you. Bro, our high school year, our senior year, our team was ranked probably number 12 in California. Our coach tried to convince us that like he would say certain things like, oh, you guys are great at this, or you're fucking shit, you're fucking terrible, you're all worthless, oh, you're good at this. It's like he was so up and down, like didn't know how to, but also if you yell like that, you better know how to connect to your teammate, right? Or connect your players. He was so unconnected to all of us that all the assistant coaches were fucking unbelievable. Like the linebackers coach, the lineman coach, the wide receivers, the running back coach. We wanted to win for all of them, and we all fucking hated him. So like the head coach, we said, fuck that motherfucker. We're winning for these guys and our team, but fuck him. I remember after we won our biggest game, we beat our rival. We literally said, I'm not going to say his name. Fuck him, man. Fuck him, man. And he didn't understand what we were saying, but we were saying, fuck him. That's how. So coaches are a big deal, bro. And there's shitty coaches everywhere. And they're very rare to come by, too. But I've also had some of the best baseball coaches I've had in a long time. My junior year, I had a freshman, going from my freshman to my sophomore year, I had a really good training who was also the coach, who became the freshman coach, and he was unbelievable. And then my junior year coach was fucking fantastic. He was a cop, and he was really good. Well, to me, what I learned from coaching, like, you just got to know how to connect. If you don't know how to connect, like, you got to have a style. Like, Belichick is like, all right, my style is winning. I'm going to get the best piece out of you and for this team for this year. If you want to be in that part of that, cool. We'll get the best part out of you. If you don't, I'm going to cut you. That's Belichick, right? There's coaches that genuinely care. They're going to be like, hey, you know what? I'm going to try and make you the best player you are. I'm going to try and help you improve for your life. Belichick's like, I just care about you for this season. There's some coaches that care about you for life. It just depends on the person you are. I think in order for you to connect in esports as a coach is for you to care about these kids like you're a friend. If you're not their friend, they don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck. Doesn't matter how smart you are. Doesn't fucking matter about anything. You can't connect. These kids in esports are not gonna fucking listen, man. Telling you. Yeah, 100% fatted.
In general, have almost no autonomy.
Sometimes negativity works. You have to have trust before you have negativity though. You can't just like go blitzkrieg on a person. But if you know somebody's soft and you're trying to push them to not be as soft, then 100%. Like you don't if you're not like they're choosing to be uh like shelled off and they're soft. And you know the only way to wake that motherfucker up is yell at that bitch. Yell at him. 100%. But it's like it's all case by case. Each player on a team is case by case. 100%. It's all different. It's all on personality. It's all on who they are. You got to understand them a little bit. It's all case by case though. But especially with gamers, especially like it's a fucking fine line, bro. Got a bunch of weenies here. So you got to make sure like if most of them have not had a lot of life experience or sports experience, you got to know how to talk to them properly. We're all a bunch of weenies out here, you know?
They don't even get to pick the team. They have no disciplinary like authority.
Steve Kerr philosophy is the new way. Well, bro, all I know is who they're drafting is fucking unbelievable. Do you think it has something to do with the difference between NA and EU? No, because there's never been good NA or like when you think about coaches, name 5 coaches that are unbelievable in gaming. You can name maybe 5, 6 in the span of 7 years. You know what I'm saying? Like where they're truly memorable, where you're like, I want that motherfucker. Like if you're gonna make a dream team of coaches of 6 coaches. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's hard. I think it's easier to break into the CS semi-pro scene today than it was 5 years ago. In terms of NA, yeah, but not fucking EU. EU's the same shit. Yeah, some people are just not built for it. Dark airways. This goes over. Felt like I ever had felt like a dad. They can connect with you, discipline you, praise you, etc. They can give you the amount of respect as they received. And the most important, in my opinion, they can be humble. I agree. I felt like to me, like once I earned their trust, like once there was a trust factor, once they like, there's like a certain bond connection towards me and my coach. He could criticize me, and I would respond to it well, and I would be able to do well, and then he would be like, "Good job," and then that's like where there was a connection, right? Like that's like the coach connection, where you did it bad, he told you did it bad. You did it good, he told you did it good, and then when you did it well in a game and it performed and it worked, then there was love. You know, it's like it's hard to make that bond though. It's a trust thing, dude. It's a fucking trust thing. 100%, especially with gamers, dude. He must have been a free coach, 87 over Nip. I mean, dude, early on in CS, brother. There was no other teams.
Completely toothless. So what do they really do? They give you a bunch of protocols and say, if you implement these, we'll have an increased chance of winning. And you, a fucking player on a salary that eclipses them, you know, by some fucking distance. You know, you turn around and go, no, stick it up your ass. I've won a major. Yeah, it's not a great look, is it? Not a great look. It's almost as if this isn't a real sport in any way, shape, or form, and it is just a bunch of kids playing video games. Anyway,
He
he
didn't say
then
that,
goes
though.
on to address this part
So he didn't say
where
that.
Evie talks about.
Did he say that? Did he say he said that? Like, because I was listening to his stream. Did he say he didn't say that? I guess. Who's this written by? Where is this? Where is this fucking thing? Where is this? Dust 2. It's an American thing. All right. That guy, who's the Dust 2 guy? RyanAbadir BM or whatever the fuck his name is? Yeah, I remember hearing that too, Burrito. Dude, maturity is so. Dude, I had this conversation with my wife today. I think mature. The word mature is probably my biggest pet peeve of the word ever. Like people say mature, and I literally Google it. Mature definition: fully developed, which means your body, physically full grown, having reached the most advanced stage in a process. It's like, and then maturity, the state factor period of being mature. Their experience, maturity, and strong work ethic. It's experiences. Maturity is experiences. So it's like when I hear these people talk about like maturity, I'm like, how do people judge maturity when they have probably had zero experience with their life? If maturity is based off of experiences and how you handle them and how you grow from them or digress from them, how the fuck are you able to call someone else immature or mature? That's what makes me annoyed. I think it was Evie's interpretation. It was a quote from him. No, that was from Stewie's. That was from Stewie's thing. He's so the Dust 2 guy. Is it the fucking ATR, whatever his name is? Do you have it, Dark Airwaves? Is he taking it from Stewie? So I know it's from Stewie's VOD. I literally did a VOD explaining everything yesterday from Stewie's thing, and it's not Ryan. Okay, I thought it was Ryan. I was gonna lose my mind at him for a second. Maturity seems a little subjective. I agree. Like, I could say I'm like mature, but you could be like I'm mature. It's like we all are mature in our own ways. That's why I always say like I like call people you just don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Like you don't know what's going on. That's what I think maturity is. Like you don't even know what's happening in the world. Edited the quotes a little bit, but I didn't hear how much they said they did. Really? I was looking at 3-point shots. Yeah, I don't know, man. Said edit it. Wait, Dark Airwaves. Are you trying to show me this shit? Sorry. Dark Airwaves. One sec. Let me permit you, Dick. Yeah, I know. That's what. Oh, okay. Thank you, Dark Airwaves. Jesus Christ. I didn't know you were trying to link. You should tell me. Oh, okay. Where does this say? They changed it. You know how they do like this content contains alcohol or something like that. He talked way longer than this. So he's just uh number of claims about the team, his mentality, and his future in the hour and a half long stream. Does to in an effort to make a concise synopsis. Okay. I slightly edited some of the comments to improve clarity and reduce the repetition of some words. God, I hate articles, bro. What's this guy's Twitter? I want to tweet at him. I want to call him out. What's this guy's Twitter? Sorry. Sorry, Lucas. Maybe I should listen to the last little bit before I call him out, huh? Give him a fair chance. Lucas at this too. Follows me. What's he look like? Saved right there, so. Let's see if anything happens. The thing is, though, like, how much damage is this genuinely going to do? Like, the only damage it's going to do is if I choose to, or Stewie chooses to, like, to respond to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, how many views is this thing getting other than, like, Richard Lewis talking about it? Like, which is probably, they paid him to talk about this. You know what I'm saying? Or, like, they told him, hey, can you talk about this? And, like, we'll return a favor for you if ever need be. That's kind of how journalism goes back and forth, or whatever the fuck it is, you know? So, yeah, like, this shit's over. I honestly think how many of you in chat, genuinely? I only have fucking a couple hundred of you guys in here. How many of you guys genuinely think that Stewie gained more fans than lost fans? If you think he gained fans, type 1. If you think he lost a fan, type 2. If you're trolling, then fuck off. You guys really think he lost fans? One in NA, two in EU. Huh. That's interesting. You think Stewie lost fans after this interview? Why? People are always focused on the big headlines that breaks the news, never the follow-up. Wow. You really think he lost fans from this? Wow. That's fucking crazy to me, bro. You fuckers really think he lost fans? Actually insane. Bro, Twitter hated him after the first interview got put on Twitter. Lost fans are total, but probably ones who don't care about him anyways. What's nuts to me is like after he did his stream and then it's put on Reddit and people still think he lost fans after that. Zue, do you believe what he was saying? The assistant coach fuck? Damn. Zue, gotta be conservative. Also, someone in Richard Lewis chat said, listen to this dumbass freak's takes on this. At least he's watching. I don't even care, though. What's funny is, though, it won't even matter to Stewie. Because whether you love him or hate him, you're going to watch him. That just gives him more publicity. As long as his org doesn't care, then it doesn't matter. What I just think is stupid is, when I'm looking at it from a point of, because, like, if I was in Stewie's position, I wouldn't give a fuck. As long as my org was cool, I wouldn't care. The only thing I care about is, like, when I look at the culture of this gaming community and, like, where we're headed is you're guilty till you're proven innocent. And, like, you look at the first thing that's read rather than listening to the other side of it, which is what I was arguing the entire time. And the fact that literally Stewie was arguing every point on live stream compared to a fucking article that was put out. And these people were roasting him for it. I'm like, dude, at least Stewie's got the balls to say he fucked up. He's got the balls to say he did things wrong. He didn't want to call. He was willing to bench himself. And he has attitude issues and admitted that. It's like, and then at the end of it, literally starts tearing up. And it's not like an act. It's because he knows Ed admits to himself as a human, as a fucking massive competitor, as a major winner and a Grand Slam winner, said he failed as an IGL. And nobody understands that feeling. Why? Because they're all fucking sitting at home typing about it rather than doing what he's doing. And I've never been in that position, but I could say that I've strived to get to a place where maybe it's not to that high, right? But like, if you're striving to get somewhere, you can understand failing to try to succeed. So it sucks, right? Like, even if you're trying to succeed at your job and you're trying to get a promotion and you're trying to type a paper a proper way and you fucking fail, it's the same thing. It's just different levels of what other people think is success. But in your own mind, it's the same thing. It's all success on a flat line. But his success may be up here in your brain because, oh, it's a major. No, it's success across a fucking flat line. As long as you're working hard for something and you're going for it just like he was and just like you do, you're typing a paper or you're trying to work hard at a job and you fucking fail and he admits that and he starts crying about it, it's the same fucking thing. It's passion, bro. And like, people think it's all fake. It's like, dude, everyone's pussies now, man. It makes me so mad, bro. Like, this culture that we live in, I don't even know what you call it. What do people call it? Gen fucking P or something? Gen P? Is it Gen P? What is it? Gen P and woke or whatever it's called? It's fucking annoying, man. We got this fucking, and I'll say it again, bum ass coach talking shit. Not even Malik. Not even Malik. Got this nobody talking shit on Stu. Hey, man. Clenched fist. I'm gonna deck you. Alright? You made a sarcastic joke about saying, yeah, one fucking job, man. Even though that's a common Counter-Strike fucking term. I clenched fist, walked up to him. And you know what? I'm really gonna fuck this guy up. Why? Because I don't understand sarcasm. Could be a language barrier. I get it. But all right. Jesus Christ, man. Way too far. I'm sorry. Clenched fists, man. Clenched fists. Is there a reason why Stu doesn't stream anymore? I have no idea. I don't talk to him about that stuff. I haven't even messaged him. I don't want to bother him. I just want him to know that I care about him. I'm not trying to bring it up. I'm just trying to listen to stuff and help him out because he's probably getting so much fucking hate. Like, think about him. You're the most successful NA player before Twist won his major. You're the most. You're top 2 right now. Most successful. How much hate do you think that motherfucker is getting, dude? And you know he reads it because he's reading his chat while he was streaming, right? Like, you know he reads it. So, for me, it's bad, man. Kid's 24. I know how he grew up in terms of, like, his parents didn't really support him in terms of gaming, and they probably do now and stuff like that, but gaming is isolating, man. It's isolating. You're very isolated when you game. 90% of hate coming from EU players. I think 90% of the hate from EU players is troll. I think a lot of the hate comes from Americans. I think a lot of Americans are bums. I think a lot of Americans are jealous because they can't do what he does, but they wish they can do what he does. I'll be completely honest. I think Europeans just talk shit because that's just like the thing they do because they just type in Twitch chat. They're bored. They get off their 8 to 5 and they're like, all right, I'll type Twitch chat and blah, 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 blah. So like robots, right? But majority of Europeans are nice. I think Americans are fucking assholes sometimes. 100%. But I also think the way he generalizes us, Evie, dick fuck, Americans will backstab ya. Like, dude, you do realize French people live in America, right? Do you realize your French scene backstabbed each other? Fucking idiot, man. Like, I swear that guy's a fucking moron. Out chasing motherfucker. And everybody who even when I heard that, I was like, dude, okay, this guy's so full of shit. Where's Malik? Nobody, you know what's crazy? Nobody went, has Malik spoke yet? No? Okay, let me wait till Malik speaks. Has Stewie spoke? No? Let me wait till I hear that. Oh, this guy spoke? The assistant coach who means fucking nothing and actually does nothing behind the scenes and nothing for anybody out there? Maybe comes up with a couple of eco strats that suck dick, just like Stewie said on his stream, but didn't want to say it, but I fucking said it because that strat, what he came up with is suck dick, and let me explain it again. Even though I'm buzzed, I'll still explain it. Go upper B on Mirage, T side, right? You know how there's the stairs when you're about to entry out upper B on Mirage, when you're about to run out and jump out the window, right? There's 2 on the right. You have 1 on the steps on the right. You throw a lurk smoke. 1 on the left, ready to throw a molly. Guy behind, ready to throw a molly. 2 guys ready to throw nades. He was assuming that eco strat, if you throw that lurk smoke, nobody's going to jump up and spam you. They got spammed, and Stewie said, scratch the strat because we got spammed by Taco, which is not a top 20 team at the time. If a non-top 20 team is doing that, a top 20 team is going to fucking execute you. Because if there's no nades happening anywhere else around the map, top mid, underpass, A, anywhere on Mirage, right? And all fire players are you at B. Everyone's going to throw every single nade at you, bro. That's an outdated strat. That's from 2019. Let's calm the fuck down. Your strat sucks. And he's like, discipline, repetition, do this, do that. No, your strat sucks. Shut the fuck up. Simple. If he was my coach, we had A to Z, right? As my coach, he tried to make a strat. We ran it. I said, let me show you the problem with your strat right now. This is the issue that I have with your strat. We can't do it because of this. He said, why? We went into server and tested that fucking strat for 30 minutes. And then he said, let me run it myself and I'll show you how to run it. He proved his point, how to run it as a coach. And I said, okay, we'll try it. Tried it in a match and it fucking worked. If you want to prove your fucking strat, run it as the coach. There was also another strat he came up with. He ran it, and I shut it down 10 times out of 10. I said, your strat fucking sucks. And he said, okay, scratch it. It's the way of the world. Same shit with football, soccer, baseball, basketball, any fucking thing you do in anything in life. Simple. Very simple. That strat, even I know it, how Stewie explained it, fucking sucks. Even me as an old upper B player in 2015, 2016, I would literally destroy that strat. That's free kills. I would throw a nade, I'd throw a molly. Where are you going to go? I literally would throw a nade at that smoke, which is going to give you nice little chunk damage. I would throw a molly as you're throwing your flash, and I would drop a smoke literally by Van. And where are you going to go? Your nades are going to blind me? No, I'm literally sitting in a smoke. It doesn't fucking matter unless you spam me. If you get lucky and spam, my teammate's playing cat while you're fucking literally running around with tech 9s, you have no chance. You're mauling under Balk for what? There's no point to molly under if you're literally on a low buy. Makes no sense. Proper strats take loads of time to get down to play. No, it doesn't. Proper strats take about fucking 15 minutes of dry run. It takes about... It doesn't take... It's not about the time it takes to get them down. It's about the brainstorming that goes into it. It's about the... Where are you going to place your flash? Where is the smoke placed? How is your entry pathing? When is the timing the flash is going to pop so the entry can get past a certain point so he doesn't get offed or killed? That's not... It's not about how long it takes to get down in terms of dry running it. It's about all the details that go into the strat. Most noobs don't understand this shit. The reason why I was unsuccessful as an entry fragger in C9 was because there was no second step to the strat. We have an entry strat like, okay, pop flash out A main on cash, right? As a T. I get out A main. And then, okay, how am I supposed to swing past quad to A site? Because there's an opper posted waiting for me right here. I would get no flash. I just run into my death versus any good opper, any shit op would kill me. Any good rifler fucking kills you, right? But there were steps back then. There was not as many steps back then. Now the game evolved and okay, it became one flash. And now the second flash, there was multiple waves of how the take came. So the game evolved in that sense. So when people talk about, okay, it's a dry running, it's because the team was this way. No, it's because it's the detail of the fucking strat. You think, why do you need a molly under fucking B when you're running out B window? Why do you need a molly directly under when you're playing an anti-eco? As you are, if you're ecoed, right? Why do you need a molly directly under where you're going to jump out as an eco player versus guns? Any smart or decent team, when they know you have a rifle, why the fuck would you hold a window from under here like this versus a Tech 9? That's the stupidest shit I ever heard in my world. I literally said in 2018, if we have guns and they have pistols, you play range. If they kill you with a Tech 9 or a fucking 5.7 or a P250 Glock USP, you made a mistake. Unless you whiff, right? Which that happens. If they 1D you can live with that. A 1D you can live with. You can 100% live with. Because you have to take fights and you have to take gun battles at the end of the day, right? But if you are playing close enough to die to a Tech 9 or a 5.7, you're fucking shit. You're dog shit. So that's why, like, when he's mauling under the window on upper B Mirage, like right below the window, right? If you're mauling under that and you're the one ecoing, what's the fucking point of that? The guy's going to be sitting on cat staring at you like this. Jump out the window and run across, and I'm going to kill you. Okay? The other guy's going to be throwing a smoke at bench, and he's going to be sitting deep bench, staring at you like this. Waiting for you to jump up van, or you're going to sprint across site. And if he's not there, he's going back market, or he's going to be playing empty pillar, staring at you while you're running out balcony. It's very fucking simple. You play two spots as the anchor on B. You're not going to sit van. You're either going to peek upper B, get one kill, drop. You're going to play bench and play deep bench. Drop with your smoke. Or you're going to play empty pillar, staring at the balcony. And once they get out balcony, you're going to move back where they can't kill you from sight, and you're staring at van. The second guy is going to be on cat. He's not going to sit get right because he can easily get traded and get blind. by a person because the person can jump out, you miss, and then he kills you with a Tech 9 randomly or a Mac 10. So you're going to be playing back like a cat, and you're going to be staring at the fucking window, and you're going to be staring at the people running across sight, assuming you don't get smoked off. And if you do, retake. Simple. Very fucking simple. So this strat is stupid, what he's talking about. That's all I'll say. Hello, dude.
I want chicken nugget.
From McDonald's?
Yeah.
Everyone wants chicken nuggets. Too retarded to follow that? Sorry for using that word, chat, but all you gotta do is just look at my chat. That's me explaining literally one strat that Stewie was just talking about, and that's the details of CS that I would go over every single fucking day with my team. That's all I'll say. Me and my brother would have constant discussions. Me and Zelsis from Valorant. Constant discussions. Then Food as well, who plays Valorant. Constant. Marky. Constant discussions, man. There's a fucking reason for everything. And you can only do a certain amount in the game. What changes the game is your timing, your nade usage at timing, or also your nade usage at timing, but like how you position yourself. And there's only a certain amount of positions you could use, right? Like there's only a certain amount of spots, but you got to play percentages. That's it, man. So people like this fucking guy just didn't understand that. And like Stewie was explaining the strat, and I was like, this guy just didn't understand it. He didn't understand the depth of how this game works. Stewie understands it at a depth. I know I understand it at a depth. I just don't explain it to people because people probably assume I'm just a fucking meathead. But I know this game very deep.
Wait, you're not a meathead?
I'm a but like a meathead that's just dumb.
I'm joking.
But a meathead that's just dumb. The way the coach talked, I feel like he just ignores that sometimes players' intuition just takes over. Well, I think the biggest thing was, dude, if you fight with somebody on day 2, what's going to happen? Because you are from 2015, you old as
I'm gonna
fuck.
sit down because
I'm from old as shit. I'm older than that, brother. I've been playing on pro teams since I was like literally 2009. Would I consider coaching? Hell yeah. Creatine. I like that. This is me right here. This is how someone insulted me, and that's the best insult I've ever fucking heard in my life. My first LAN was? Yeah, I played against Dazed. You guys remember Dazed? Yeah. Everyone thought I was a cheater back in... So I was 14 when I went to my first LAN. That was 15 years ago. So 2007. My first LAN ever. My mom drove me to my LAN. And everyone thought my team cheated. And we beat Dazed in the finals. My team beat Dazed. Was Dazed IGLing? Yeah, he had a bunch of LAN. Dude, he had like a bunch of OG players. He had Alive. No one knows. One Alive, One Shot. He had Frost, which is like the OG who Mo plays with. Dazed. Fuck, I can't remember the other 2 guys. But they were like legends. And we beat them. A bunch of we had 4 first-time lanners and then 1 guy who was like experienced. But we beat him. And I never seen somebody so mad. Yeah, Scudoodle came from ABA. They still lurks and talks basketball in people's chats. He probably just gets bored. Your girl is giving me the fuck me eyes. Alright. Jeez, dude, I didn't realize you must be a pedo a little bit, you know? He's got like the I know what girls look like when they're telling me how to fuck me.
I'm like, can you log off and get me chicken nuggets?
He wants some food. This is how This is how they talk to me.
Look
It's
at my
Uber
head.
eating season. What?
Look at my
Why don't you go get the chicken nuggets for us?
drive?
Funny, because I'm always the one who has to go do it.
You're
You
the
know?
guy.
Yeah, exactly. See, the men. They all I'll say is, guys, just understand this. I was talking about this a year earlier.
Don't
Let's have
say
let's
this.
have some fun. with
Oh,
it.
fuck.
Let's have
This
some fun with
isn't true.
No, this is very true.
You're gonna make...
Men don't get married. Why? Because when you get married, they got nothing left to work for, right? When you're boyfriend and girlfriend, they got to work for the marriage certificate, and then they like have you locked up. You're locked. You're locked. You got to do whatever the fuck they say. If you don't, you're in trouble, and you got to listen to it, and it's just this, that, the other. Believe me, it's great. You got to listen to shit, and you're just like, all right,
Did you say something like
all right, wife.
when it's boyfriend and girlfriend that we have to try hard to like keep you guys in case you like run off with
Oh
someone
yeah,
else?
when we're boyfriend and girlfriend.
Talk about sex. Talk about sex. I was dying. I was fucking. So I'm sat on the bed. I've had like a fucking stressful day, and I'm getting changed, and he's sat talking about this bullshit to me. Go.
I can't remember.
Were you saying that we have to work hard? Like we have to give you sex all the time?
Oh
with
yeah,
boyfriend
oh
and
yeah,
girlfriend?
100%. So when they're boyfriend and girlfriend, they gotta fucking like girlfriends. They go for it, right? Like they're like trying to prove themselves. Like, hey, this is what marriage is gonna be like. All right, yeah, marriage. They're always having sex. They want to bang. It's like, yeah, this is great. We're having great sex. Fuck yeah, this is insane. And then all of a sudden you get married, and they're like,
Maybe later.
we'll do this later. We'll do this the next day. Tomorrow. I don't feel like it. And you're just like, dude.
I'm tired.
You're like, dude, what the fuck? What happened? Boyfriend, girlfriend. You're like, woo, let's go. Married. 6 months later. Fuck it. I'm good. You know? I got a headache. I'm tired. I'm sleepy. I just woke up. I gotta take a shower. I stink.
Said that to you.
She gets all wet.
That's you. That's Ryan. Ryan's always stinky. Always stinky. If I try and make a move and he hasn't showered, he's like, mm-mm. Actually, he doesn't care, but he always makes it very known that he's stinky. But yeah, he was saying that to me. I was fucking dying when he said, obviously, that's not 100% true. We have great sex, but whatever. But yeah, I was laughing so much. Time for divorce.
I'm literally gonna make a mistake. He's fat.
He's heavy. He's what next
Fucking
month?
fat as shit.
He's what?
What's her Twitch channel? She doesn't have one.
I don't do it. I just like hanging out.
Are you from Britain or Australia?
Neither.
Britain's not really a country, so she's being all whatever.
No, I was just being,
I know she's being a dick.
I was just being ironic.
She's being a dick. She's from Wales.
Ew.
Wales and
What are
England.
you drinking?
It's a hard thing.
Oh, those.
Yeah.
I wondered why you walked in with only 4. I was like, there's no way you just bought 4. And then I realized because they're fucking 10%. What's everyone saying? Ryan smells like testosterone. No. Ryan smells like butt.
Ryan smells like testosterone overload and sexual desperation.
It's like you're in the room.
That like clicked in my head for a second. I was like, what the
Sexual desperation.
That's funny as
Fuck.
shit. I always like to like Dale would be cooking in the kitchen. This is like, dude, it's so weird, bro. Like when you're boyfriend and girlfriend, you're just like, hey babe, let's go, or hey sweetheart, or hey whatever the fuck you call him. Hey bitch. Hey whore, get in the bed. You know? Sorry, Twitch. It's a joke. Calm down. but she's a whore. All right, I'm just kidding. All right, get in the bed. But like, as soon as you get married, you try and do subtle things to try and like engage it, compared to like when your boyfriend or girlfriend, like, hey, you want to go fucking, let's go bang, bitch, come on, you know. But like when you're married, it's like start trying to feel a little titty action. Start trying to like, hey, let me grab your ass, you know.
There's nothing worse as a woman or a guy who
Don't touch your titty. You're not allowed to on Twitch.
I'm not touching my titty. When I'm chopping onions, and he comes up behind me and he's like, "Here's up."
True shit though.
It's the worst when I'm trying to like concentrate and you're like, "Yeah," in my ear, and I'm just like, "Can we not?"
There's
right
something
now?
with like a marriage. I don't know what it is with like married. It's like they're like, oh, I have to be proper. I have to make dinner. I have to get the dinner ready. It's like when you're your boyfriend or girlfriend, it's like you're getting dinner ready. It's like,
All right, here we go. Right here on the kitchen table. Here you go.
you know, it's like weird.
I've always been super wifey.
No, 100%. But
My
I'm
teeth
saying that
red. My teeth red.
not too bad.
Not too bad.
No, but I'm saying that like there's something like with
I
girlfriend, the
totally
word is like a
know.
younger thing in your brain to where it's like, all right, fuck it, let's go. Compared to like married, it's like,
Not just.
I'm
Hang on a
shopping.
minute though. Not just.
my arm, dude.
Not
Holy fucking stack.
I can take a break
Oh
right now.
crap!
But it's not just women. Men do the same thing.
What are we?
If
what are we
I'm
talking
like
about?
ready to go and you're like, I'm tired, Dad. Can you do all the work? You always do that.
I'd never do that ever.
That's such a guy thing.
That's 10% of the time.
Before? No, but you're saying